Hey golfers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video we're talking driver, and in particular we're talking driver setup. Now this is the only part of the golf game that we can actually control. The tee box is level. I've played some courses, maybe they're not level, but the tee box is level. We set the tee height, we set our body, our ball position, everything is exactly the same every time we use this thing. So makes sense that if we could get a really good step-by-step process to make sure that we set up the same every single time, then we're going to start to see some consistency in our drives. And obviously that has to be the correct way to set up. And that's what we're going to do step by step, get you setting up to this driver perfectly. So before we get started, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you haven't done so already, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I always like to hear where people are tuning in from. Now let's get started. So we have a very different objective when it comes to driver versus irons. With a driver, unless you're watching this and maybe your swing speed's about 110 and up, you might not want to hit up on the driver. If you want to maximize distance, you will, but it can be a little hard to control at a higher speed. So when we're looking at a golf ball on the tee, and I'm lucky enough I'm able to teach with TrackMan whenever I'm teaching lessons, and I'm able to check and see how efficient somebody is with their driver, and that boils down to mostly their attack angle. I'll pull a chart up on screen and you can then look at your speed, your attack, and look at the carry difference in whenever you're hitting down on the golf ball. So hitting down would be more this way. The club is traveling down as it strikes the ball. Low point a couple inches after. Then the club travels up. That's what we do with irons. With a driver, we want the low point before the ball. Club's traveling up. That is going to give us our maximum distance, okay? And I don't know about you, but I am not fortunate enough to swing it as fast as Rory and be able to leave some distance on the table. I got to get the thing out there because it leaves me a shorter iron into the green. And we can do all of this with our setup. Well, we could really help it because those guys I teach, who literally 90% of them will come and they're hitting down some degrees, could be anywhere from 2 to 7 or 8 hitting down, and it's just a massively inefficient way to hit your driver. Can be really nice for irons. This is typically where you find guys say, my 3-wooden driver go the same distance, or I don't really get any distance out of this in comparison to my irons. So maybe you hit your irons quite far, but your driver is very short by comparison because we have to change it, okay? So we're going to talk about that from setup, because those guys, when I see and I change their setup, their attack angle always changes. And plus, I really want this to be consistent, so I want to cover it in a step-by-step process, because you have control, as I said, over this every time you put the tee in the ground. Okay, so let's get stuck into this setup. I think you'll really like it. It's nice, it's definitive, and a little bit of routine about it as well, which I love. So as I walk through this, I will talk about why I'm doing it. You know me, I don't just say do this, do that, see you later. I want you to understand it. Okay, so we're going to cover ball position first, right? Remember our objective all times with the driver to hit up on it. So we're going to start ball position. We're going to start with our feet touching, okay? Really simple to do, and get the ball in the middle of your two toes, okay? First thing, we're going to take our left foot, our lead foot, and make a tiny little step, and I mean like half an inch. All you're really doing is just nudging it forward very slightly. Next thing you're going to do is turn the left toe around about 10 or 15 degrees as well, okay? Now, this is established sort of a central ball position because my feet are touching. We want to get heading up on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our right foot nice and wide to the point where the outside of your shoulder would drop down your instep, okay? Now, me doing this is moving my low point back and helping me hit more up on the ball, okay? So set up already, making a bit of a difference here. A lot of golfers do tend to stand more this way or think it's on the left heel, and actually it isn't. This system really helps you get it there, okay? So we've got that, feet together, tiny step, 10 or 15 degrees on our left heel, nice and wide with our right foot. Okay, here's the part where I know a lot of people watching this spine tilted address, okay, or tilt away. A lot of us know that, but very few people get it right, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure you get it right. We're going to put the club on our spine, okay? Now you can see that that would be nice and straight. Obviously, it's not my spine, but in reference to my spine here. and I'm going to tilt to the point where the club hits the inside of my leg. Okay, so we've got a reference point for shoulder, inside of foot, spine. If it extended, it would go straight down the inside of my leg. All right, so I'm tilting. Now as I do this, watch what's happening. I go here, this part of my body, my belt, which is a little bit tight at the minute, still trying to shift that weight for summer or from Christmas. So, and I point up here, say the buttons. All right, I'm going to let that part move forward and this part drop back. That is really, really important as we go forward and back. Okay, leaning or tilting your spine is not a case of just going this way. Okay, so I've essentially created the same thing, but I've just put all my weight on my right. I'm also doing this, and I see this a lot. People will set up, they'll tilt, and they lean back, but this leg starts to bend. All the weight's on the back foot. That's not what we want. What I do like, though, is as we go there, there, tilt, I don't mind a little bit of pressure moving into the inside of your leg or your right instep. Okay, as we move this forward, upper half back, we are in a really good position now to start being able to hit up on this driver and maximize distance. Okay, honestly, people get this a lot. They think the ball's forward, they think they're tilting, they think they're doing all these things, but with this little system, you're going to make sure it's perfect. I'll run through it again 1 second, but I want to show you it from down the line here. As we start feet touching, tiny step, turn, big step. You won't have to do this every time once you get a feeling. Now, as I'm doing this, can you notice how
If you're anything like me and you like to wear a good quality leather glove when you're playing golf, but don't fancy the high price tag, well, go and check out my channel sponsors page, gxgolfgloves.com. Really good quality glove at a fraction of the cost. Use code David at checkout and you'll save yourself a nice little bit of cash as well.
I'm trying to keep my right arm below this one, I'm not that way. Again, another common thing which makes people swing more down on it or over the top is because the ball is forward, and sometimes people think, okay, to get that golf ball I need to reach, which would make you do this. Now, again, we're in trouble. Okay, so as we make this tilt move, I am letting my right shoulder, right arm that way, essentially keeping my shoulder square, even slightly closing them as well. Okay, so unfortunately I can't hit drivers in here. I am looking at getting the beams lifted. If anybody actually has ever done that in their garage, let me know in the comments. I really appreciate some help with it, because I don't know if I need to do the whole thing or I can just do a segment from where I swing. So that would really help me out. I appreciate that. So little routine, right? Let's run through it. Setting up, feet touching. Okay, we can build our grip at this point. Tiny step, turn, big step, 2 points to this point forward, this point back. Now, from here, and I know because I've done this, as my speed has dropped over the years, I've had to be incredibly efficient with my driver. I can't get away with hitting down on it. I have to hit up. So I know I'm like this, and I can already feel that I'm going to be able to swing up on that, stay behind it a little bit, and hopefully launch it down the fairway. All right. If it doesn't go down the fairway, I'll go a little further anyway. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.